The best types of movies are ones that have a great mystery and leave you in suspense all the time. So today, fittingly, I'll be going over the 10 best mystery and suspense movies of all time. Welcome back to Screen Cinema. Let's get into the video. Number 10, Buried. Ryan Reynolds in a coffin. That's it. That's the whole movie. That's Buried, a cruel and Kafka-esque thriller from director Rodrigo Cortez about Paul Conroy, a civilian truck driver in the Iraq War who wakes up buried underground with only a cell phone to aid him. Miraculously, he can actually get a signal, but he's running out of air and only has the length of a short feature film to survive. Can the authorities find him in time? Will anyone pay his ransom? Just how bitter and cynical can one thriller get? And who will pay his phone bill? Extremely bitter and powerfully cynical, that's the answer to that last question. Ryan plays his part with pathetic charm. He's a nice guy who doesn't deserve this, and this terrifying predicament quickly becomes a problem that other people want to solve, whether or not it actually helps the guy who's been buried alive.
This coffin that I'm buried in. I'm told that if the money is paid, I'll be let go. If it is not, I will be...
Number 9, With a Friend Like Harry. A chance to encounter to a public restroom reintroduces Michael to an old high school friend named Harry. And even though Michael has no memory of Harry, Harry remembers everything about him. And Harry is disappointed to discover that in the years that followed, the young Michael had so much potential, has become saddled with a busted car, a disapproving spouse, needy children, and overbearing parents. But to Harry, there's no problem that can't be fixed. And Dominic Mole's subtle razor-sharp thriller, the anxieties of family living become a grotesque set of obstacles in a gruesome series of murders. But what's even more disturbing than the violence is a possibility that, deep down, Michael might actually appreciate that Harry is doing this for him.
Who needs enemies? With a friend.
Number 8, Mulholland Drive. David Lynch transformed a failed TV plot into one of the most celebrated films of the century with Mulholland Drive, a feverish saga of isolation and bitterness in the Hollywood Hills. Naomi Watts stars as Betty Elms, a naive, aspiring actor who falls in love with Rita, an amnesiac recovering from a mysterious car accident. As they pursue the truth about Rita's past, they peel back glitzy layers from the entertainment industry, revealing horrible truths at the bottom. Then again, what is true in a David Lynch film? The director's signature dream logic keeps Mulholland Drive perpetually open to interpretation, and the film's many fans still debate which parts were a dream, or if any of them were.
Mulholland Drive.
Come on, it'll be just like in the movies. We'll pretend to be someone else.
Number 7, Ripley's Game. Patricia Highsmith's many tales about Tom Ripley, the chameleonic sociopathic murderer, have been adapted to the screen several times before, but where the talented Mr. Ripley painted a romantic view of the anti-hero as a tragic, lonely figure, Liliana Cavani's Ripley's Game visits an older, more comfortable Ripley, played by a slithery John Malkovich. He's already found love, he's already found wealth, but when his neighbor Jonathan insults Ripley behind his back at a party, he can't help himself. Jonathan has to be destroyed.
Say we won't need that. Keep my watch, because if it breaks, I'll kill everyone on this train.
John Malkovich.
6, Old Boy. Odesu was just about going his drunken business when he was kidnapped and thrown into a locked hotel room for 15 years, with nothing but a television for company. Then, without warning, he's suddenly released back into the world and told he has 5 days to discover why he was in prison in the first place. If he succeeds, the captor will kill himself. If he fails, his captor will kill the only woman who treated Odesu with kindness. Director Park Chan-wook's manga adaptation boasts a bizarre setup and a breathlessly desperate lead performance, and the journey Odesu takes goes in horrifically unusual directions. The one-take fight scene in a hallway where our hero fights off an army of killers using only a hammer is the most famous scene in Old Boy, but the inhale is the part that will really stick in your crew. Over the top and ruthless and unexpectedly poignant, Old Boy is one of the most unforgettable thrillers. Number 5, Runaway Jury. The John Grisham adaptation of Runaway Jury was released to a shrugging audience upon its initial release, but perhaps no other Grisham adaptation has aged so gracefully. John Cusack stars as Nick Easter, a randomly selected juror on a landmark case, in which the family of a mass shooting victim is suing the gun industry for their culpability in his death. It's such an important lawsuit that the firearms manufacturers enlist Franklin Rich to spy on and manipulate the jury to ensure the verdict goes their way. Number 4, Caché. Directed with subtle terror by Michael Haneke, the ingenious thriller Caché asks a deeply unsettling question. If you were being watched and judged and you didn't know who it was, what would you assume they knew about you? Daniel Attuelli and Juliette Binoche play a burgoy middle-aged couple who discover to their consternation and gradual horror that somebody is filming in front of their house. Every day they receive a new VHS tape with a single static shot from across the street and a disturbing hand-drawn image, and the question of what they did to deserve this bizarre stalker starts to rip them apart. Number 3, Death Proof. Originally released as the second half of an experimental double bill called Grindhouse, paired with Robert Rodriguez's outlandish horror comedy Planet Terror, the serial killer car chase thriller Death Proof deftly recaptures the sleazy thrill of watching a low-budget thrill right at a smoke-filled theater in the 1970s. Kurt Russell stars as the stuntman Mike, a despicable misogynistic former stunt performer who likes to kill women by getting them into his car and crashing it on purpose. The driver's seat has been rigged to nearly death-proof, the passenger seat not so much. Quentin Tarantino's two-act structure introduces one set of victims after another before leading them each into a violent climax. The first half is a serial killer thriller, but the second, which stars famed stunt performer Zoe Bell as herself, evolves into a delirious car chase, with Bell strapped to the front of a speeding car while Mike tries to force her off the road. Number 2, Zodiac. The real-life murder spree of the Zodiac Killer never had a satisfying conclusion in real life, but in the hands of David Fincher, that's what makes the story so hypnotic. Jake Gyllenhaal plays cartoonist Robert Graysmith, Robert Downey Jr. plays crime reporter Paul Avery, and Mark Ruffalo plays detective Dave Toshi, who each dedicate their lives to solving the mysterious murderers, and decoding the killer's cat-and-mouse letters to the newspaper, and finding only the obsession and possibly ruin as their rewards. Zodiac is everything a thriller could be. It's a harrowing catalog of the killer's murders. It's an insightful drama about obsession. It's a detail-oriented history of a riveting investigation. And in the end, although the film never comes out and says that they solve the puzzle, it leads to an absolutely terrifying sequence as one of our heroes find themselves closer than ever to a resolution. Intelligent and absolutely enthralling, Zodiac isn't just one of the best thrillers of the century so far, it's one of the best movies of the century so far.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing at the gun range?
I just want to help.
What are you, some kind of Boy Scout?
Eagle Scout, actually. First class. Well, I've been thinking.
Oh, God save us all.
There's no evidence, Robert. What do you mean there's no...
Number 1, Changeling. As a director, Clint Eastwood may be the most famous for making serious dramas and revisionist westerns, but he started his career with an acclaimed thriller, and he never forgot how to ratchet up tension. Changeling tells the intense true story of Christine Collins, played by an Oscar-nominated Angelina Jolie, whose son goes missing in 1928, only to be returned to her by the police later. The problem is, the child they return to her isn't Christine's son's, and nobody will ever believe her. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.